Hello and welcome everybody. I'm Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. Thank you for joining me for the November 2023 horoscopes. Well, it's a somewhat quieter month and you'll all be going, perhaps, because in October we had two eclipses, a solar eclipse on the 14th, 15th and also the lunar eclipse on the 28th, 29th. So we've still got a lot to process because sometimes it can take months to get through everything, and then there's more eclipses. It's like a never-ending cycle. However, it's good to have a month where there's not too much going on. So I'm just going to put on a little video here which will start us off. The stars impel, they do not compel. So, to start off, I want to talk about the fact that at the beginning of the month, all of the star signs actually have a fantastic little aspect pattern called a kite pattern. So it's right at the start of the month and it only lasts for a few days. Scorpio, Pisces and Aquarius also have an additional T-square because the moon is involved. So that will probably only be the 31st of October to the 1st of November because the moon is involved. It travels really fast. So there's a few extra challenges there. So just be really cautious the end of October, early November, that if you're a Scorpio, Pisces or Aquarius, that you don't do too much. But this kite pattern that everybody has at the start of the month, which probably go a few days to maybe 5 days or something like that, it's fantastic because it brings loads of potential success, especially spiritually speaking, because Neptune is the focal point. That's where all the energies are being funneled. And so spiritually, it's like you might pick up that there is so much happening there that is spurring you forward, spurring you on. And with a kite pattern, there's lots of sextiles and trines, which are easy, smooth flowing energies that are designed to really oil the wheels of progress for you. The only potential tension is that Venus is opposite. And with opposing Venus, sometimes there's some conflicts between things that you idealize or ideals in relationships, for example, and your expectations may need adjustment. With Neptune getting all this energy as the focal point, it's easy to look at the world through rose-coloured glasses, but that's not reality. So do try to avoid self-deception and try to avoid the thinking everything's just going to turn out rosy. It will probably work. You probably will be successful. You will have to work for it though. And especially with Venus in Libra, and that happens on the 8th. So you're probably, whatever area of your life it is, it's probably to do with relationships, and you'll probably be looking or experiencing affection and warmth and great beauty in your life in that area. On the 10th, Mercury into Sagittarius. Mercury is the messenger, and as a messenger you get lots of communications, but there's also brilliant flashes of insight as well. Sometimes there can be a trickster energy, but you need other sorts of indicators to suggest that that's going on. But yeah, brilliant flashes of thinking, so write it all down because it's easy to forget things. The new moon in Scorpio, intensifying your feelings on the 13th, but in a really positive way, bringing new beginnings. You may be feeling more excited and encouraged towards a certain project, and it'll be joining the Sun and Mars, so you'll have a lot more energy. The 22nd, Sun goes into Sagittarius, which is fabulous for warmth, affection, safety, security, growing things. And 24th, Mars also into Sag, bringing more energy, a little bit more volatility, but you can steer that to go the way you want. And on the 27th, the full moon will be in Gemini, and that'll be stirring up conversations. And have a look what area of your life the full moon is in. I'll talk about that. So do check out your sun sign, your moon sign and your rising sign. Don't forget, leave a like and a comment. I would really appreciate that. Mostly, I just want to wish you a wonderful, peaceful month. Let peace reign on earth. Please pray for everybody being affected at this horrible time of war and hostilities in various parts of the world. Thank you so much. I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now. Hello and welcome everybody, especially to awesome Aries. I've got your November horoscope. Okay, let's go to the board now. First thing I'm going to do is draw 2 tarot cards as theme cards for the month for you. And we'll see what comes out for awesome Aries. Okay, first one. This is a bit strange. Sort of mechanical devices, levers and counter levers. I think it's about balance. In order to move forward, I see changing of the gears going on, but in order to move forward, there needs to be some balance in that. So best not go to extremes. I can see a beautiful waterfall here, which suggests you're going to have a lot of energy this month, and the water is coming through very crystal clear and quite strongly, actually. It's quite a volume of water I can see. So you might get a burst of energy this month. Let's have a look and see what the cards say. Going for that one, the 9 of Cups. Send out your hopes and dreams to the universe, because the universe hears all. You'll see here she's seated on the side of the ocean here. So this is about being grounded in practical reality in order to turn your hopes and dreams into something physical. It's not just sort of thinking about it. There's some sort of sense of satisfaction, that some sort of sense of achievement. You're coming to the end of the cycle, but you're not there yet, and there's still more to be achieved. The ocean here, of course, is your subconscious, and when you get a message, it's time to take that seriously and bring it to reality. Pull heaven down to earth is basically your job in November, the first half of November. The second half of November, what do I see for you? Okay, again, it's similar. This time I'm at the beach and there's a little rivulet or a creek running down from inland across the beach into the ocean. So it's sort of about your health, your vitality, and bringing a sort of sense of naturalness, natural power to you. Let's have a look and see. Okay, the King of Pentacles, this is great. This is enjoying the harvest of what you've worked for. You'll see all the grapes at the top here. And you'll see the King here is also in the colour aubergine, which is sort of reminiscent of the third eye or perhaps the crown chakra to some extent. But it's about intuition, listening to your intuition. Again, the same sort of theme about bringing heaven down to earth and making it real, manifesting your reality. This time it's probably to do with your money. Sometimes pentacles can be construed as being indicative of the body, but mostly it's money and possessions. And with this, you might find that there's somebody like this that you meet. Somebody comes along, he's a very upright, conscientious sort of person. And even so, he's got some sort of sense of nobility, some sort of sense of getting ahead in the world. He can give you a lot of good advice about how to improve your money situation. If you don't meet a person like this, you need to find it in yourself. It's usually an older, more masculine figure. If it's a woman, she's probably post-menopause, and she's been around. She understands the way of the world and how you can manifest. It's a bit exciting, actually, isn't it? Okay, so they're the cards. Keep those in mind. I'm going to make this a bit bigger now. Where are we, Zoom board? Okay, well, now we've come to your horoscope. The first thing to notice is this kite aspect pattern here. Everybody has a kite to start the month off, and at the moment everybody has Pluto, Neptune and Uranus in this minor grand trine. For you, awesome Aries, the focal point for this kite is Neptune in your 12th house. This could be quite a spiritual time for you, especially with Neptune in Pisces. Okay, the other thing that you may have been felt a little bit sort of restrained or held back in your spirituality, or maybe picking up messages from your subconscious hasn't been as clear as you would like. But Saturn is turning direct on the 4th in Pisces. Saturn's not really totally at home there, but Saturn does like if you get some sort of practice or some sort of regime structure in place. So that can be to do with timing. It's saying whenever you wake up, or you're going to wake up, for example, at 6 o'clock every morning, and you're going to meditate for 20 minutes no matter what. And if you find that difficult to do, say, I'm going to meditate for 10 minutes. Do what you can do. The important thing is not how much you do. The important thing is that you make a start. And it's best not to set yourself up for failure by trying to have sort of huge dreams that might be difficult to pull off. It's better to have a smaller dream that you can be successful at and build your self-esteem through concurrent successes, okay? But this is likely, your spirituality is likely to be stronger this month, especially after the 4th when Saturn to direct. Okay, and the other thing to note is that your ruler Mars is going into Sagittarius on the 24th. I'm going to talk more about that in a moment. But firstly, on the 8th, Venus is going into Libra, and it's just here. And Venus in Libra is completely at home here. This is beautiful. Libra in your 7th house of partnerships. Things could be going more smoothly than usual. Could be affection, warmth and beauty. A sense of fairness probably characterises your relationships, and it's not necessarily personal committed relationships. It can be business relationships as well. Those people that you have some sort of partnership with in business, or some sort of joint venture perhaps in business. So this is going to be a beautiful time, and usually the house opposite, so in this case your sign where there's Chiron and also the North Node is going to be activated. It's time for you to find the balance between yourself, your needs, your desires, and the needs and desires of the other, the significant other, and not to go too overboard in either place. Libra really loves balance, so you're going to get some help with this, okay? Because here in the 7th house, I mean, your own needs versus the needs of the other is quite a difficult sort of one, quite a difficult juggling act. However, Libra will help because balance is important. And with Chiron here, there's some sort of wounding around your identity, or maybe your belief systems about yourself in how that you approach the world, how you get your message out into the world, how you stand tall in the world. Okay, and all of this is fated. We've got a wide conjunction here between Chiron and the North Node, and this means that the energies of these two are blending together, and there's some sort of fated or destined type of quality to all of this situation. So you could be reminded of your own shortcomings in some way, but it's for the purposes of healing. So this is like a golden opportunity to look within and heal yourself. Okay, the 10th sees Mercury going into Sagittarius, and that is up here. And also the Sun goes into Sag on the 22nd, and Mars, your ruler, goes into Sag on the 24th. So nice little party here in the 9th house of life expansion, the higher mind, spirituality, philosophy, and anything to do with the exotic or foreign countries, foreign people, something different, variety, a way of expanding your life in some way. With your ruler Mars there, you're going to get a huge push to do this. There's plenty of communications and brilliant ideas, and also with the Sun there on the 22nd, insight and awareness comes to you about how you can expand your life. You're going to have the energy, the intelligence, and the communications to do it. This is very exciting. You could be thinking about retraining, higher education, or maybe some sort of structured type of format for doing a course, or maybe you're even running a course. You may decide to start teaching or something like that. You'll see here your MC is right sort of bang smack on the border between Sag and Capricorn here. This is your life direction. So as the month proceeds, these planets here will get closer and closer to your MC, and you're likely to have some very big insights this month about the direction you want your life to go in. So this could be really lasting for some considerable time this month. Even though on the surface it looks like a quiet month, you can see for you it's going to be very important. The full moon is in Gemini on the 27th, and the new moon is in Scorpio on the 13th. So coming to the new moon first, affecting your everyday routine, your work, your health perhaps, and this brings some sort of new beginnings, some sort of physicality, some sort of manifestation, which works in well with both of these cards. So this could be to do with work. You may think up brilliant new ways to make more money or ways to improve your work. The full moon in Gemini on the 27th here is also about your communications, and there's some sort of, could be a little bit turbulent, but there's some sort of looking at it, casting a light on the way you communicate, perhaps on your study, or perhaps on something to do with where you live, the local area, your local community, and your promotions or marketing, things like that. So you could be looking at them with a view to improve, work out a bit of a plan, and then later on in the month when all of these things, well, actually, I'll take that back, not later on in the month. It's like things are leading you up to a shake-up in your communication zone. I'll get that right. Sorry about that. All right, you've got a very exciting month. Okay, so don't forget, check out your moon and rising sign as well. Have a fabulous month. I'll see you all again soon. Thanks and bye for now. Hello and welcome, terrific Taurus. Well, I've got your November 2023 horoscope and it's a bit exciting. So let's go to the board now. And firstly, I'm going to draw 2 tarot cards as theme cards for the month for you. So the first card is the first half of the month. What do I see for Taurus? Okay, I can hear these noises, jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. It sounds like money actually, and all of the coins are falling. So coins usually mean change or transformation, but sometimes they do actually refer to your money as well. I see somebody writing, so communications back and forth, messages, and then I see the cards, so the answers in the cards is what they're telling me. Okay, so the card that actually comes out is the 3 of Pentacles. So it is about your money. It's about working and being rewarded for the work that you do. There's a sense of success around this and achievement because she's got gold. This is the color of the solar plexus. Often our fathers teach us how to complete projects, or this is what they're supposed to do, how to complete projects. And in the old days especially, the father was the one that went out to work and the woman stayed home. Thankfully, that is no longer the case in many countries. And so you may learn these lessons from your mother or your father, but it is a masculine energy about taking on a project, taking on a task and seeing it through to completion, okay? So that's the first half of the first half of the month, and it is about your money and completing tasks. The second half of the month, there's a whole lot of steps here. It's like I'm down in a cave and there's water around and the colours are blue and green, but very pale, and these steps up to the right. So logical action steps need to be taken, okay? Not so much about your feelings, although it is beautiful, the blue and the green, and this sort of subterranean type pool in a rock cave, okay? And the card that comes out is the 4 of Cups. Sometimes there's water here in the background. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, there's ocean here, but it's very still and very deep. And this card can bring up some despondency or sadness, particularly to do with love relationships. Now, these might just be memories. It doesn't even mean that it's to do with now, but they may be memories of the past, a significant spiritual connection that you have had or have with somebody. However, on the physical plane, it's more difficult, and it works on a spiritual level, but getting it physical is a bit of a problem sometimes. But logical steps need to be taken about this. So if it is all over Red Rover and you're still thinking about this person, maybe some sort of spiritual healing may be called for. Spirit is giving you a cup of energy here to help move you on from the past. Okay, there we go, 4 of Cups. Okay, let's make this a bit bigger. Bear those cards in mind, because now we're going to look at your horoscope in depth. Okay, the first thing to note is that Saturn is turning direct on the 4th of the month here in your house of friends, groups, associates, and hopes and dreams. You may have felt somewhat restricted or stuck in some way to do with the people or to do with the groups or the friends or hopes and dreams. However, with Saturn moving forward, now things there could be some sense that if you are diligent and you set forth a schedule or a time frame or put in some sort of structure, this could help you. So this might be something simple like going out and meeting friends at a certain time, okay? Whereas in the past, maybe there was some distance, you couldn't get together. It may be if you put a structure so that you meet a group of people at the same time every week, that could really help. The other thing to notice is that your ruling planet Venus, is actually going into Libra this month. This is fabulous. I'll talk more about that in a moment. And also, everybody is starting the month with this kite aspect here. Everybody has Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus in this minor grand trine at the top here. And for you, the focal point is Neptune in your house of friends, groups, and associates. And this means that you might find a very spiritual vibe amongst your associates, people that you communicate with or to do with your hopes and dreams. Okay, so the thing about a kite is it shows great potential. It shows that you can really achieve something with regard to the people that you meet or with regard to your hopes and dreams. It's quite a positive type of energy. There is some tension or challenge because you've got all these super positive things, or these sextiles, these trines, and then this opposition between Neptune and Venus here in your 5th house, which could be to do with romance or creativity. But it's that opposition that actually brings in the tension that needs to be solved so you can achieve what you want, your heart's desires. With all the positive energies, you're likely to do that. So this is a sign of great potential, and I feel very excited for you. You could meet some wonderful people this month. Okay, let's make this a bit bigger. Oh, it's already on the largest. Okay, I've made it big already. Good. Okay, we'll go through your horoscope now. On the 8th, Venus, your ruling planet, slots in here into Libra in your 6th house of everyday routines and also work and health. This brings a beautiful, smooth flowing energy. If you're working or what your normal daily habits are, things just go much better than they have been. Okay, you could meet beautiful people through your work or at work or in your daily routine, whatever you do as a routine. There's also, with this, it's a great time for pampering, to incorporate pampering and self-care into your routine as well. On the 10th, Mercury goes into Sagittarius up here, forming a nice little basis for a party here with these other planets. And so it could be a lot of communications, and they're intelligent communications around joint resources, investments, perhaps even inheritances. And the 8th house is also a house where there's a lot of intensity around intimacy. So some brilliant ideas and communications around this. The Sun joins in on the 22nd, and on the 24th, Mars joins in. So we have a lovely party of these 3 planets So it's all surging ahead regarding intimacy and shared resources with either another person, a government, or an agency, or perhaps a large corporation. Okay, so where the 8th house has got so much energy here, opposite, the 2nd house is also activated, and we have the full moon there as well in Gemini. So there's likely again to be a lot of communications. There's probably going to be some changes to do with your finances, especially your investments, your superannuation or 401k, your taxes, or perhaps loans, especially any housing loans or investment loans that you may have. The full moon often brings a bit of turbulence or a bit of a shake-up. It makes you look at a situation, okay, and it shines a light on that situation for you to reflect and to really go over and make some changes, okay. So I think it's good news, actually. The new moon is in Scorpio, and that's up here in your 7th house of significant partnerships. This brings a new beginning around a significant partnership, or perhaps even legalities. If you have any legalities going, there's some sort of breakthrough, or it gets to the next stage or something like that, a new beginning. And even if you've got what's called open enemies in old astrological lingo, even if you have some of those, these are people that you don't like or you don't get on with, and they don't like you or they don't get on with you. You both know about each other. It's not like it's a secret, but there's a new beginning there as well. So this is quite meaningful. And the 13th, so it's halfway through the month, so you still have the Sun and Mars and Mercury there for a little while. So it could be quite important because there's so much activity in that house around the beginning of the month through to mid-month. Okay, so that's your horoscope. Terrific, Taurus. I hope it means something to you and that you can really think about those things and it brings you some sort of help or assistance. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, check out your moon and rising sign as well. I'll see you all again soon. Thanks and bye for now. Hello and welcome, gorgeous Gemini. I've got your November 2023 horoscope, and your ruler is moving into Sagittarius this month, so this is wonderful for brilliant ideas and savvy communications, which you're so good at. Okay, but firstly, we're going to have a look at the tarot to see what the cards have to say. So let's go to the board. Firstly, okay, closing my eyes, what do I see for you, gorgeous Gemini, for November 2023. Okay, there's a door opening up in front of me here. It's actually a woman opening the door. So there's some sort of invitation coming from a woman or a feminine energy. Oh, and a whole lot of gold nuggets just spill out from the door. So this is very valuable. It could be an invitation to a social event, for example. And there's a lot of chit-chat going on. But do remember, loose lips sink ships. Okay, so do be careful what you say, because I can see this big tongue in front of me like a dog's tongue. Somebody is flapping their gums too much. All right, the card, oh look, I'm not in America, I'm not American, and Halloween is thing there, but I just see the Halloween pumpkin. I think that was in October sometime, so it might be related to something to do with Halloween in some way. Just keep your ear to the ground there. Okay, the card that comes out is the 9 of Pentacles. It's about your money. It's also about completion of a project or an event. And there's a lot of beauty here, as you can see, this gorgeous blue colour, which is associated with Michael the Archangel. Also a lot of gold here, just going up here, up her chest. So a heart energy that is very valuable. And you might find that you feel quite content with your financial situation, that there's been some success, you've made some accomplishments in your life, there's some sort of creative endeavours and you've been very good at it and it's worked out for you. You may also be starting to think of something else in your life because it's almost the end of that cycle and a new cycle is beginning. Now the second half of the month, what do I see? It's like the Middle Ages here, and it's like I'm with an astrologer in the Middle Ages. Something going back a long way is coming up, and now I can feel this energy coming up the right side of my face, in my teeth, and into the top of my head. It's a bit of a headache. So a lot of energy coming up. It might be to do with your childhood, or it's in my right eye now. It particularly involves a man or masculine energy. It could be your father, and there's a headache around this. And it's about your childhood endeavours, those developmental goals that you needed to achieve that you couldn't quite achieve because there was this interaction with the male energy that made it difficult or thwarted you in some fashion. Okay, let's have a look. Something about closed pegs, I've got no idea. The card that comes up is the Ace of Cups. Cleansing is the word I'm getting around this. You're going to release some patterns from the past, but Spirit is literally handing you a cup of vitality and energy, something that's been blocked in your body that is coming up. My right eye is watering, and it does feel emotional. So you're going to release something from the past, perhaps, that is going to improve your health, okay? You may be feeling more vital as a result, okay? Ace of Cups, beautiful emotions that are cleansing. Something about, I'm getting something about your brain cleansing itself from the past. There's a sense of joy and peace and love in matters of the heart around this. Okay, I hope that all makes sense, because it is a bit hard to talk with that feeling I've just got there. Anyway, let's have a look now. We're going to make this a bit bigger because we're looking at your horoscope. Okay, so gorgeous Geminis. Saturn is going direct on the 4th of the month, and for you it's in the most public area of your chart here, the 10th house, to do with authority figures and often to do with the parents. Okay, you see here it's opposite the 4th house of home and family, so these two could be, they work together, and the 4th house, home and family, could be activated. You've also got Lilith there. There could be something going on in the family that hasn't been very pleasant. However, with Saturn turning direct, you might feel a sense of making some progress finally in career, and this is a type of career that is your vocation. So it's not just like normal everyday work, it's like something that you believe in. And perhaps with Saturn here, there's some sort of structure. If you can put a structure around it, even if you're working from home, maybe it's as simple as saying, look, I start work at 8 o'clock in the morning, I get dressed, I get out of bed, I have a shower, I get dressed for work, and I'm ready to go. It's not good to sit around in your pajamas all day, okay? Yes, you might get some work done initially, but it's far preferable if you can actually set the tone for your day by getting up and getting ready and setting that intention or that goal, putting it out for the rest of the day, that you achieve A, B, C, D, whatever it is that you wish to. Time is very important. Scheduling is important. Structure is important. And part of the structure might be every Friday morning at 9 o'clock you have a Zoom meeting or Google Meet with the people that you work with, okay? Now, added on to that, you'll see we've got Neptune here also in this area, and Neptune is what's called the focal point. The energies of the kite are all sort of focused towards Neptune here. And this is a very spiritual vibe, and it will help you no end achieve what you want to achieve, and with a very beautiful spiritual energy. But the only sort of disadvantage or possible disadvantage is that you don't see the situation clearly, and it's like looking through the world through rose-coloured glasses. Maybe you could be a little bit idealistic about a work situation, okay? There's a lot of positivity here in this kite. You can see sextiles and trines, and they're all focusing their energy down here to Neptune. However, Neptune is actually opposite Venus here in your 4th house. So this brings some sort of challenge between your public life and your personal or private life that you need to sort out. Having said that, It's a sign of great potential. It's a sign of, it's really the universe telling you that you can achieve. Yes, it's going to take some adjustments and some hard work, but you can achieve what you set your heart upon. Okay, so a lot of potential, achievement and success with this kite. Everybody's got a kite this month at the beginning of the month. However, for you, it's focused on your career, your reputation, how you appear in the public, your status in the public domain, I meant to say. So maybe social media could be involved, your vocation or your parents. Okay, now to get a little bit more specific, on the 8th, Venus goes into Libra here. This is beautiful and wonderful. Venus is hitting your creative zone, your romantic zone, and Venus is in love with love. She just loves romance. So this could be a lovely time. You could also, even if it's not actual romance, it could be just meeting beautiful people and socializing and just having a good time. But it's just lovely. Yeah, there's affection, there's warmth, there's creativity. You live closer to the world of the child in some way. You may have more to do with children, or if there's no children around you, it's your inner child that you're forging a better relationship with. On the 10th, Mercury goes into Sagittarius here, and this is great because it's in your house of committed relationships, both business and personal. And we have the Sun entering Sag on the 22nd, and we have Mars entering Sag on the 24th with your ruler Mercury. This is going to be powerful for your significant relationships. Any legalities that you may have going at the moment, there could be some sort of breakthrough or some sort of moving on. And even if you have what's called open enemies, the people that you don't get on with, there could be some sort of change there. With Mars, it's like a great surge of energy to get on and move forward in some way. Mercury, your ruler, is going to bring you brilliant ideas and very active communications. On the 13th, the new moon is in Scorpio in your everyday life, bringing some sort of gift or new beginning. It could also be related to your daily routine, what you do on a daily basis. Maybe that's work or even health or well-being related. The moon is all about your emotions, but there's some sort of new start, you see. Ace of Cups fits with the new moon there. The full moon is in Gemini, your sign, on the 27th, giving you a bit of a shake-up about how you approach the world, how you are viewed, how you appear, and your identity. So it's pretty important. You might change your appearance in some way, or you might decide that you want to upgrade your identity. I don't know what this means. New doorbell. Getting a new doorbell for the front of the house or wherever you live. Don't know what that's got to do with identity, but there it's bang straight in my face, so I hope it makes sense to somebody. So the full moon can sometimes bring turbulence, but it is for the purpose of shaking things up so you can decide what you want and what you don't want. Okay, so that's it, gorgeous Geminis. I hope this is useful. Thank you so much for watching today. Don't forget, check out your moon and rising sign, and have a wonderful month. Thanks and bye for now. Hello and welcome, caring Cancerians. I have your November 2023 horoscope here. There's some good news for you concerning home and family. But first, let's go to the board, and I'm going to draw 2 cards as theme cards for the month for you. Okay, so the first card will be the first half of the month for caring Cancerians. What do I see? Okay, what is that? Okay, it's quite a spiritual time. Oh, and we see here the full moon in your 12th house as well, shaking things up. It's quite a spiritual time. I see candles that are lit. It's like sending out messages to your loved ones that may have already passed over, and they hear your thoughts and your prayers, and they can feel the energy around you. There's a lot of symbols here that I don't know what they are. There's sort of curly, sort of Celtic looking knots and things like that as well. Okay, the card that comes up for you is the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, this is interesting. It's come up before today as well. This is about your creativity, your accomplishments, and whatever you've achieved at the moment. There's some sort of sense of accomplishment or contentment around those things where you've used your creativity and got in touch with your real self, so that you've felt some sort of sense of fulfillment. And now it could be that something is finishing almost. It's not here quietly, it's not here yet, but it will finish soon, and then you'll be on to a new project, a new life endeavour. So your money could be involved. You may have earned some money somehow, or come across some money as a result of your accomplishments. You'll see here this beautiful colour blue associated with the Lord Archangel Michael, and also gold up here on the breast, so a very high vibration around the heart chakra as well. This is in the first half of the month, and now we'll go to the second half of the month. Yeah, it's quite an emotional sort of time, but of course it would be because you're caring Cancerian, aren't you? Okay, second half of the month, what do I see? See the old-fashioned steam train. Sorry, it's a bit hard to talk with. It's sort of quite emotional, so it's hard for me to form the words. The old-fashioned locomotive train, and it's like old England, and going around in the beginnings of the century, like I'm talking the 20th century, and trains were all the thing. Okay, so that means you're on a train of thought, you're on the train that you're supposed to be on, committing to your journey and completing your journey. Okay, and then there's some ships in the harbour as well, and we're back in like late 1800s, early 1900s. So this sense of the past coming back and some sort of nostalgia around the past. The card that comes up is the Nine of Cups, all about your hopes and dreams and sending them out into the universe, and Spirit hears all. And you'll see here she is with a red skirt and red legs. Action will be taken, but in a physical way, very grounded, very practical, and in touch with physical reality, with the subconscious just there in the background as well. Just keep doing what you're doing, you're getting there. Okay, something is almost coming to an end. See, we've got two nines there, and a new cycle almost about to begin. Let's have a look at your horoscope. I'm going to make this a bit bigger so we can all see a bit better. First thing, Saturn is moving direct on the 4th of the month up here in your house of the higher mind. This is fairly significant because we have this kite pattern, and there's a lot of positive influences here with sextiles and trines pushing you ahead. And so there's a trine pattern here, and then a minor grand trine here. And so this is basically the energies of Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus joining together, all being focused into Neptune in your house of the higher mind, how you expand your life through spirituality, philosophy, perhaps even travel. You might be thinking about traveling, or even studying or doing some sort of form of higher studying, not just retraining, but maybe university or something formalized like that. Okay, there could also be more to do with foreign people or the exotic. And if you can't travel, then maybe think about ways that you can bring in excitement into your normal everyday life, and ways that you can expand your mind, learn a new language, for example. We also, as well as all of these positive energies, we also have opposite Neptune, we have Venus here at the beginning of the month. And so this is significant because it's going to bring some sort of tension or a challenge around how you expand your mind, how you expand your life. Okay, Venus in Scorpio can bring, in Virgo, not Scorpio, Venus can bring a more polite, courteous way of dealing with a situation. And in Virgo, there may be some attention to detail or some sort of very effective way that you've worked out how to solve this issue, okay? But one way or another, you are going to grow, and this kite is very exciting because it brings a lot of potential success and achievement to you through your higher mind and through really growing your horizons. Now on the 8th, Venus will move into Libra here. This is the part of the good news I mentioned at the start, because this is about your home and family and beautiful, smooth relationships, smoothing over any sort of difficulty that there may have been in the past, and having a lot of affection and warmth in your home, okay? You could also, as well as having a family visit, you could also have very close friends who are like family. So there could be some socialising at home. It's a great time for relationships. The 10th sees Mercury moving into Sagittarius here, along with the Sun on the 22nd and Mars on the 24th. Okay, so this brings a lot of energy into your normal everyday routine. Whatever you normally do, you'll do it with more vim and vigour and more gusto. There's a lot of communications and brilliant ideas around your daily routine, or perhaps your work or your health. There's some insight and awareness coming through, and maybe even some happiness as well. And certainly all of this happens with great energy with Mars there as well. So your daily routine picks up as more activity, and you could be feeling generally better. You could be feeling more vital and like you've got energy to do stuff. Okay, then we have on the 13th, we have the new moon in Scorpio here. This little party going on before these planets move on into your normal everyday life. But concerning the new moon, there could be new relationships, new people that you meet, and sometimes maybe even romantic, because this 5th house is associated with romance, but certainly a new start. And it could also be in your creative world, or something to do with children, whether they be actual physical children or your own inner child. Okay, so we have on the 27th the full moon in Gemini, giving your subconscious, the house of the divine goddess, giving this all a bit of a shake up. And so do look and pay attention, because you are ruled by the moon. You will probably feel these runctions underneath in your subconscious, this turbulence. The beautiful smooth water that you had is now getting quite choppy. Okay, so pay attention. There could be all manner of important subconscious messages coming up through your dreams, or in your meditations, or perhaps even in those little flashes in the daytime that just sort of slip inside your head when you're doing something else. But quite an exciting month. You know, it's a quieter month, but with this kite starting the month off and these other changes in your everyday routine, it could be quite fun for you, or quite exciting. Okay, so that's it, caring Cancerians. I hope this is useful for you. Thank you so much for watching today. And don't forget, leave a comment and a like. That would be fabulous. And don't forget to check your moon and your rising sign as well. Have a great month. I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now. Hello, lovely Leo. I've got your November horoscope, but first let's draw 2 tarot cards as theme cards for the month for you. So we'll go to the board now. Here's your horoscope. Okay, but first the cards, giving us a little bit of extra insight into what is going on in the world. I see like a funnel, and it's sort of starting to flare out a little bit at the top. It's more narrow at the base. So your life is becoming much broader, and there's more to life. There's a big wide world out there, and you're becoming more and more aware that you can go to wherever you want, do whatever you want, whenever you want, more or less. So more freedom and liberation to you than ever before. This is a bit exciting. I also see someone writing on a blackboard. So this could be about retraining, education, or perhaps even learning. Maybe you're learning something you may want to teach others at a later date. Let's have a look and see. For the first half of the month, the card that comes up is the Judgment card. It's very important, because judgment sort of limit our focus. As soon as we make a decision about, oh, this person or this or myself is blah, 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 then we've made a judgment and we've limited our options just because of that judgment. So you may become aware of the places where you judge yourself and also where you judge other people. So if you notice something about somebody in an observation without an emotional attachment to it, that's an observation. But as soon as you start getting hooked into emotions and you get angry, you get upset, or you think this is wrong or this is right or whatever, then it becomes a judgment, and that is limiting. And in a very real way, not only does it limit you in your perception of the other person or situation, it limits them, you see, because then they've got all this expectation around them that they're going to act in a certain way. And often people just continue to act in the same way without really thinking about what's going on and how they can break out of those boxes. So judgments put people and situations into boxes. You can see here they're all in the little cardboard boxes down the bottom, but they're only cardboard. So it's a bit of an illusion because we can actually step out of the cardboard boxes. We might have to fight our way out sometimes, but they're cardboard, so we can do that. So just be aware, it's a major arcana, so it's fairly important. Be aware of the judgments you make about yourself and the judgments you make about other people. So the second half of the month, and well done you for realising those judgments when you get the insight into what you're doing. So now I'm seeing a watch, so it's a matter of timing. It's like these insights are gifts and they come at certain times, and you can't realise something until the timing is right. So don't beat yourself up about it because you've received the insight at a certain time frame, basically, and you can't do it beforehand. Second half of the month. And then I see an electric, back in the old days, there was like an electric jug and it had an element inside it. That's what I'm saying, the element. So it's about heating things up. So it's heating up for the purposes of nurturing. So previously cool relationships might get warmer. You might find that, or you might have warmer feelings towards somebody or even a situation. The card that comes up is the Knight of Cups. It's a great time for you to go out and socialise, go out and explore and see how you feel about things and what emotions come up. You're going deeper and deeper into your emotions without sort of worrying too much about what other people are thinking. But you see here there's some alcohol going on. That's just suggesting having a fun time and socialising. Of course, we shouldn't overdo it at all, but this lobster going down into the depths of your subconscious, so exploring your emotions. It's a fairly positive card, and it's the Knight. So I think it's actually classed as a royal card, but it's not quite royal, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger for you so you can see it. Right, good. Now, the first thing to note is this kite aspect that all the star signs have. It's a major grand trine and a minor grand trine, and these are both what's called talent triangles. So there's a certain degree of creativity and skill and talent that comes with these. There's a lot of positive energies, sextiles and trines, smooth, free-flowing, easy-going energies for you to have some fun with. The other thing, though, to note is that Pluto, Neptune and Uranus, this minor grand trine here, we have the focal point of Neptune. So this is a very spiritual sort of energy concerning the sharing of your resources. Neptune in Pisces is very spiritual. So it's important that you don't look at financial situations, especially investments, tax bills, superannuation, inheritances. It's important to look at them very realistically and practically, because Neptune sometimes gives you rose-coloured glasses and you might think, oh, she'll be right, mate. But that's really not the best attitude to take. It's better to be sort of a bit hard-nosed and practical about those resources that you share with other people. So I want to say you may need legal advice, which that's a psychic flash, not really astrology, because It's here in the 8th house, but it's also about intimacy as well. You may look at somebody, an intimate partner, with rose-coloured glasses. So just be careful about that if you have an intimate partner, that is. And the other thing to note is that we've got an opposition through to Venus here in your 2nd house of finances, and this does create some sort of challenge between your spiritual view of things and the fact that Venus probably wants to overspend, buy beautiful things, encourage you to spend money. So it's fine to spend money if you can afford it, just don't go overboard. It's really good with Venus here in Virgo if you can buy something that appreciates in value. So some beautiful thing like jewelry or art, or maybe an old-fashioned vintage car or something that you have to do your research about, obviously. I don't know anything about buying art or jewellery or old-fashioned cars, but I believe you can make money on them. So Venus can really help you with that. But do be careful of wasting money on little trinkets or things that don't appreciate in value. We do have Lilith here in your 2nd house of finances, which can bring up all sorts of issues. So just be careful of that, and particularly with women and money. So yeah, be a little bit cautious there. I'm going to look at your astrology in depth now. Now, on the 8th, Venus there in your 2nd house will move forward into your 3rd house here, and it's in Libra. This is fabulous for your relationships, particularly in your community or with your neighbours, or maybe with distant family members like cousins or siblings. So this brings a beautiful, affectionate, warm, sort of free-flowing energy, polite courtesy, you might call it, to these areas. Again, study might be important to you, and getting out and about around your local area and socialising with locals in particular might go very well for you this month. We have on the 10th Mercury going into Sagittarius here, and there's going to be a little party. There's a party in October in your family and also around your home and environment, a lot of energy there, but that's changing from the 10th when Mercury goes into your 5th house of creativity. It's also about romance or potential romance, lots of discussions and intelligent conversations about romance, creativity, and also children. If you want to give birth to something or someone, this could definitely be a help with the Sun and Mars here bringing extra energy. So the Sun goes into Sag on the 22nd and Mars goes into Sag on the 24th. And so there is a lot of energy here. It's quite insightful, and there's probably some degree of happiness around this, and perhaps you become more childlike. If you don't actually have anything to do with children in your normally everyday life, you may be dealing with your inner child, but there's happiness with it, so that's great. A lot of energy, and gadding, as I must say again, gadding about town, it's really good for you. The other thing to note is the new moon in Scorpio here around the house and family, and this brings some sort of new beginning, and you might be socializing at home with your family or invite close friends to your home to have some sort of event, or just even if it's like dinner party or something like that will go very well too. In November on the 27th, the full moon is in Gemini up here, bringing a little bit of turbulence to your groups, your connections, your friends, but also your hopes and dreams. And sometimes the full moon, it can bring a lot of energy from your subconscious, and it brings it up, and it might be you realise some of the judgments you made about friends or groups or people, they're not helpful. So something comes up from your subconscious to deal with. I always see the moon as an ally. In my mind, it's the feminine. So it could be particularly to do with women. So I do see the moon that way. However, when the turbulence happens, you might not feel the same way. And this is also to do with your hopes and dreams, which you could be changing and becoming more aware about what it is that you actually want, what you thought you wanted. It's just maybe a bit dull, or you're a bit jaded with it, and so you may tweak your hopes and dreams. Alrighty, so that's your month, lovely Leo. As I mentioned, your ruler, the sun, going into Sagittarius. That's quite important for you. So you're going to have a pretty good month by the look of it. Okay, thank you so much. Don't forget, check out your moon and your rising sign. I'll see you all again soon. Thanks and bye for now. Hello and welcome, vivacious Virgos. I've got your November 2023 horoscope. But first, let's draw two cards as theme cards for the month for you. So we'll go to the board now. Here's your horoscope. And we'll no doubt refer back to the cards because they work hand in hand with the horoscope quite often. So for the first half of the month around Virgo, it's interesting because I am getting the Sagittarius glyph, I can see that, and we do have a number of planets going into Sagittarius, so that indicates that there's an extra emphasis around what's happening in your home and with your family this month. Let's have a look and see what card we get. It's like I'm looking at a book of life while I'm shuffling these cards. The pages are flying past. And the card that comes up is all about your hopes and dreams. It's the Nine of Cups. You send your hopes and dreams out into the universe, but also it's important to be practical and keep your feet on the ground, because just thinking about something doesn't necessarily cause it to happen. So you've got to have all the energies in balance and all in alignment. Get all your little ducks in rows and your T's crossed and your I's dotted. So she's seated on the foreshore here with these red legs of activity, red for being active, the ground for being grounded, the subconscious in the background, and she's sending out her heart's desires to the universe who hears all. It's quite exciting. You may actually even decide to tweak your hopes and dreams in some way. There's some sort of completion or satisfaction around the corner if it isn't happening already. And it's like you've been working towards something and it is coming to you. So the journey's not over, but you are really getting places, getting to where you want to go. You're really going places, like, and accomplishing, at least in spirit, but bring it down to earth and make it practical as well. So that's the first card. And the second card for the second half of the month, well, I'm having a bit of a flashback to the 1960s here, particularly in the UK area. And you might just have some nostalgia, something coming back from the past, particularly the music may seem more important than usual. And the card that comes out is the Nine of Swords. You have to be a little bit careful with your time and energy in November, the late part of November, and not take on too much, because this can indicate exhaustion. You need to rest. There is, even if you think you're not doing very much, there is a lot going on in the ether at the moment, and people are really suffering with anxiety and trying to wade through a molasses treacle of emotions about what's going on in the world. And it's very hard to process all of this information, like even in your head, never alone your emotions and the spiritual aspects to it as well. So get some time out away from the news and what's going on, and even in your own personal life with family and friends, get some time out and rest. You might find you have to rest in the daytime more often at the end part of November, leading up to Christmas as well. That's like extra activity and things are extra hectic. So don't feel like you have to go to all the Christmas parties or all the social events if you feel too tired. That's just how it is. So do watch and protect your time and your energy. So I'm going to make this larger. Bear those two cards in mind. Now, the first thing you'll see here is this beautiful kite pattern, aspect pattern. All the star signs have got that to start the month. And it's basically a major grand trine and a minor grand trine sitting on top of it. There's, with the minor grand trine, plane just going over my house, which is always fun. They've got the whole sky, but yeah, they would go over my house. Firstly, we've got Pluto, Neptune and Uranus forming this small talent triangle here. And these are the outer planets. And so there's a lot going on in the collective. And here we have Neptune, which is at what's called the focal point. And so it's like the energies are all being funneled into Neptune in your house of partnership. So your committed relationships, your important partnerships, perhaps legal issues, and perhaps those people that you don't really get on with. There's some sort of spiritual vibe with these people. And you have to be cautious that you don't look at the situation and look at the person with rose-coloured glasses, because Neptune, especially in Pisces, is a very spiritual force. However, sometimes we're not grounded in reality, and it's very easy to float off into the ether and not really look at two sides of the coin. So you might see all the positive sides of the situation, but none of the negative, for example. So keep your feet on the ground with Neptune here concerning partners, legalities, and people you don't get on with. We have Venus down here in your subconscious, and she's also opposite Neptune. Venus opposite Neptune, so that can create some internal ructions coming up from your subconscious as well. But mostly it's a very positive force, this kite, because there are a lot of trines and sextiles, smooth, easy flowing energy that just lets you go along and do what you want regarding, well, to some extent anyway, regarding other people and your relationships. So it's quite possible a little bit of tension just to get you to grow. However, mostly it's really good news. The other thing to take note of is that Saturn here in Pisces, which isn't really at home in Pisces, does turn direct on the 4th. So it might have been recent times sort of quieter because it was retrograde, and now it's turning direct. It means that it's important to look at things like scheduling and timing, because Saturn is the father of time, Chronos. And so put some structure around your relationships. So for example, if you have a husband or a wife, for example, you might say that every Saturday night is date night, and make it a scheduled thing, because Saturn loves you to be prepared and to schedule things in advance, basically. That's how it works with Saturn. Let's have a look in depth now. We can see that on the 8th, Venus is going into Libra here, which is to do with your money. So do be cautious of overspending, because Venus really loves to buy expensive, beautiful things. But if you buy something that has an investment aspect to it, and it's beautiful and it increases or appreciates in value as time goes on, Venus will help you with that. She would love that. But yeah, be cautious of overspending. Also, there may be shopping trips with friends or with family, and it's a beautiful atmosphere, but don't go overboard, of course, if you can help it. Then we have on the 10th, Mercury going into Sagittarius here, and we're going to have a little party here at home with the Sun and the Mars. The Sun's entering Sag on the 22nd and Mars on the 24th. So this brings a lot of activity and a lot of energy, happiness, communications, brilliant ideas, and just general energy around your home and family. So you could be entertaining at home with family and close friends that are sort of like family or part of your family in some way. Then on the 13th, we have new moon in Scorpio here as well, bringing a new start to your communications, perhaps your neighbourhood. New moon here can mean there's something new going on in your local area. It's probably positive. I'm an optimist, so I tend to think it's probably positive. And then we have on the 27th a full moon in Gemini up here, bringing some sort of changes to your public face, to your reputation, your status, and also your career. There could be subconscious things coming up, and this is why you have to be sort of careful and watch your energy levels, because sometimes it can be a bit turbulent, particularly regarding women, and it may be to do with the parent, particularly your mother, and because this house here is traditionally associated with mother, although these days it can be either parent, but because it's a moon, and that is traditionally associated with women, so there could be some sort of ructions. Your privacy is very important. It is super important in November, dear Virgos, to take time out so you don't go down this path of exhaustion, because you don't have to. So why become exhausted if you don't need to? Nine of Swords could be a lot of thinking about situations, and if you can avoid it, it's best to do that. All up to you because it's your life. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. I hope this is useful. Don't forget, check out your moon and rising sign as well. Have a fabulous month, everyone. I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now. Hello and welcome everyone. Hello lucky Libra. I've got your November 23 horoscope, and I'm saying you're a lucky Libra because you've got some super positive influences this month. Let's go to the board now, and firstly I'm going to draw 2 tarot cards. That top one wants to come out for the month. So the first card's the first half of the month. You're driving your car. Even if you don't have a car, it doesn't matter. In spirit, you have a car, you have a vehicle. It's called your body, and it's how you get around in the world, and you're in control of your body this month. That's a good thing. However, I see some coins here to the side. That means changes. You're making changes around your physical well-being, or perhaps even your everyday routine or work. Now, I see an arrow being fired into the air. It's a bit like the Sagittarius glyph with the arrow, and there's a target. You're right on target. I see the arrow flying through the air. I do get the colour blue, which is the sky. Of course, it's the sky of mind. You'll be thinking about these things most probably, and it's a bullseye for you. The arrow comes down, and if you follow all the guidelines, you can have a bullseye. If you don't, you may fall short. So just be cautious there. There are some practical things you need to take care of. It's not going to be all airy-fairy and Alice in Wonderland stuff. There's definitely practical activity and considerations. The card that comes up is the King of Swords. So this is all about thinking, and it is important to think about the situation. Planning is the name of the game for you. And sometimes people think this is ruthless. If it's appropriate to be ruthless in that you have to be ruthless to take care of yourself for good, proper self-care, then you will have to be ruthless and say no to some people. You may have lots of invitations coming in for socializing and things like that, and if you feel up to it, by all means go. But if you're not feeling very well, or there's some other reason, or you're just too busy, then please say no. But this card will give you the energy to say no. This is also, even though it's your mind and thinking, there's a high degree of intuition here with this colour as well. So you can cut through, get to the core of the matter, save time and save energy with this card. All right, number 2, the second half of the month. What do I see for lucky Librans? Oh, this is strange. I'm in a desert and it's cracking right down the middle. This could be, because it's earth, I'm thinking body, and I'm thinking a health problem that you may have had for probably a while. And I see the earth cracking open, but it's like a desert. It's like the vital chi forces haven't been getting into the desert in this part of your body, and it's cracking right open, and water is coming up from the underground aquifers. So I'm a bit excited for this because it's going to certainly make you feel better and perhaps give you more energy so you can achieve what you want to achieve. Let's have a look and see. And I'm a Libran too, so fingers crossed. I would love that to happen. The card that comes up in the second half of November for you is the Moon. This is fabulous for accessing everything deep down in your subconscious. So sometimes it does bring a bit of turbulence, but that's, you can handle it. It's better out than in. All of these things that may have been bottled up. Now, not necessarily bottled up by you, but it might be intergenerational change that's going on here, or perhaps even past lives. But something that's been there maybe for many generations is coming up for you to deal with, and you will deal with it. And then there's every possibility that you will teach others, or you will at least learn. But with this wolf dog here, you could teach others about your spiritual experiences. So there's a fair bit going on for you spiritually. Here in your 12th house, we do have Lilith, which is the dark side of the moon, and she will be stirring things up down there. So something's going to come to the surface. I feel quite excited about it. It's a major arcana card, It's very important. So I'm going to make that a bit bigger. The effects of a major arcana, of course, can go on for some months. In October, and I'm doing this on the 19th, so we've already had the solar eclipse just a few days ago in your sign, Libra, and then we have the lunar eclipse on the 29th. And so there is a lot happening for you in the other layers of reality, in the spiritual layers. So first thing to note, this fantastic kite pattern that is blessing all star signs at the beginning of the month, it's a major grand trine and a minor grand trine sitting on top. The minor grand trine has been going on for a few months now. It's Pluto, Neptune and Uranus. These are the outer planets. It's about the collective, but it will manifest, of course, the energy of this will manifest for different star signs in different areas of the chart, so different life areas. For you, the focal point Neptune is in your everyday routine. It's to do with your health, your well-being, and also your everyday work. It could bring a really spiritual vibe to these areas. However, the sort of downside, sometimes it's a bit confusing, and it might feel like walking in a mist and you're not quite sure of where you're going, but keep going, because I'm sure that you're on track. And it's a little bit of faith and trust that is required when you're walking in a fog. But that's the other side of this also is to do with the relationships with people, or perhaps the work that you're doing. You may tend to idealize other people, especially your workmates or those people you see on a daily basis. So just be aware of that. And Libra, you're fairly idealistic anyway. With Neptune there, that's going to make you even more idealistic perhaps. So just watch for that. It can sort of give you the sense of looking at the world through rose-coloured glasses, but not necessarily seeing the practicalities. And especially with this moon going on in the second half of the month, this is not about practicalities. It's about dealing with the energies that are coming up. So yeah, just be aware. Saturn is moving forward on the 4th, so turning direct as well, and at some point over the next, it's a fair way away actually, because Saturn stays in each house for like 2 and a bit years, so it could be, it's a fair way away, but it will become conjunct Neptune. And the point I was trying to make with Saturn moving direct here is it's very important to watch timing. You may become really overcommitted because you double book yourself, you lose track of time. So watch that. It's really important to have a diary and to write everything down in a diary, because it's so easy to get confused these days with all of the things that you've got to think about and everything that's going on. Allow plenty of space between your appointments. Structure is very important. So as soon as you get up in the morning, establish a morning routine, and one of those things should be to look at your diary for the day within an hour of getting up. So it's important, because if you get sidetracked on something else, then you might muck up your appointments, and I've certainly done that. The other exciting bit of news is your ruler Venus, the planet of love, is going into Sagittarius here in your 3rd house, and you're going to have a little party. Sorry, not in your 3rd house, what am I saying? Here in your 1st house, going into your sign. This is super good. I'll talk about that in a moment. But let's go through. Oh, actually, that's the number 1 on my list. So that's actually on the 8th. So Venus into Libra, and this is how you deal with the outside world, how you approach the world, and it's likely to be with great elegance and beauty, politeness and affection, and people will notice this, and they will see you as a true Libran, and it's likely that you'll give off quite a beautiful magnetic sort of vibe. People will notice you. You may pay more attention to your appearance as well, and also your identity, trying to bring your identity and your appearance and your beliefs and who you are, bringing it all together to become more authentically you. It's quite exciting actually. The 10th sees Mercury going into Sagittarius, which I referred to before here. Little party going on in your house of communications. Fabulous time for promotion, marketing, any ads if you've got a business. Yeah, it's great because you're going to have a huge amount of energy here with the Sun going into Sag on the 22nd and Mars going into Sag on the 24th. happiness, a sense of achievement and success, and also not only with your communications and marketing and promotion activities, but any study that you have to do is likely to go off quite well. Anything to do with your local area or environment, you may become more well known in your local area. There's a lot of energy and activity here, and you're full of ambition to achieve your desires in that regard. So that's looking really good for you. On the 13th, the new moon in Scorpio here in your money brings a new beginning around money. You may think of another idea about how to make money, and it's a real sense of new starts, new procedures, and it's also about your possessions. You might buy something new as well. And your values, the things that you value. So there's a sort of tweaking of the energies around valuables, put it that way. The full moon in Gemini on the 27th up here. This is bringing a little bit of turbulence around how you expand your life, perhaps to do with formal study or reaching out. It's called the House of the Higher Mind. So hence the King of Swords and the Moon card here. There could be sort of a bit of a shake-up, something you have to deal with, but I do think it'll be ultimately positive for you, and you'll be able to, even if it doesn't go exactly how you want, you'll be able to learn from it, and then you'll be able to teach others as a result. So I wouldn't worry about it because it's actually going to benefit you. I believe it'll benefit you in the long run. Alrighty, so that's your horoscope, everybody. I do hope it's useful for you. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget, check out your moon and rising sign, and have a wonderful month too. Thanks again, and bye for now. Hello, sensational Scorpios. I've got your November 2023 horoscope. But first, I'm going to draw 2 tarot cards as theme cards for the month for you. So let's go to the board now. Here we go. So the first half of the month, what do I see for Scorpio? Oh, wow. It's a bit like a vortex, spinning, spinning, spinning. A lot of energy. It could be quite a spiritual time for you. But there are changes, and changing your mind about something. This card just come out, the Empress. It's a great time for pregnancy. It's a great time for giving birth to something or someone. Action needs to be taken, but in all of this beautiful gold, success is quite likely. So a really creative and productive time period. It's like this vortex of energy spinning, spinning, spinning around in spirit and coming down through your crown chakra. Pay attention to the top of your head. You might even feel it coming down through your head into your spine and down your body, enlivening you, bringing you more chi force, and also healing all manner of things going on with your physical body as well. At the very least, it's a spiritual healing that is happening. It's a bit exciting, isn't it? This is a major arcana. It's fairly important. The effects of this can go for months. We also have in October, when I'm doing this, it's the 19th of October today, even though it's for November, October there is a lunar eclipse on the 29th, or in Australia, or 28th in the other countries like US and UK, and on the 15th in Australia, or 14th in the other countries, there is a solar eclipse as well. So 2 eclipses you've just gotten over, but the effects of those go for months. Along with this card, there's a fair bit happening. Firstly, I want to bring your attention to, you've got a couple of patterns going on here at the start of the month. This kite pattern that everyone has. You also have a T-square as well. So some sort of challenge. The T-square relates to friendships and associations, also the moon. So it's only for the very beginning of the month, the moon there, and later on there's a full moon. But at the very beginning of the month, to do with joint resources or perhaps intimacy, and then Neptune in your everyday life or work. So just be cautious the first, maybe second of the month, and then we will see that dissipate as the moon moves on. Venus is also moving on slowly too, but the 8th she will be into the next house. So first couple of days, just be a little bit cautious. But back to this kite pattern, that everybody has. It's a major grand trine and a minor grand trine on the top, if you like, or on the bottom, depending on which way you're looking at it. The focal point is Neptune here, and you'll see your ruler Pluto and Uranus there. They'll also be funneling their energies towards the focal point Neptune in your 5th house. So a very spiritual vibe with the people that you meet, and also with your creativity, and perhaps with romance or the world of the child, dealing with children. Quite a spiritual vibe. The only downside is a little bit of idealism, where you don't see things as clearly as perhaps you could, or the tendency to look at relationships with rose-coloured glasses. So do watch that. But it's mostly positive because there are trines and there are sextiles. The tension becomes evident with Venus here. So it could be to do with friends or people you already know and associate with, or a group where you're being a little bit idealistic. So just watch that. So I sort of got sidetracked off the cards. So the second half of the month, let me see what happens. I do see, actually it's interesting, I do see a triangle here in spirit. Triangles are often about the chakras, opening up the chakras, and it's also like the divine relationship, Virgin Mother Crone, or the Father, the Son and the Holy Spirit, even if you're a Christian. The interesting, when I said that, this card came out, the Eight of Swords. You may become aware of some entrapment or something that has limited your freedom in some way, and maybe it is to do with a religious structure or an idea about Virgin Mother Crone or Father, Son, Holy Spirit. And instead of that being freeing as it's supposed to be, there's either been a misunderstanding, or somehow you've become ensnared with that idea and it's limiting you in some way. The good news about this, the Eight of Swords, is that once you become aware of it, that's sort of a big part of becoming free. So your goal, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to become free. And with the power of the Empress here, to give new life or new birth, whether that be to someone else or even to yourself. So this is pretty important. Yeah. Let's have a look at your astro now. I'll make it a bit bigger. So the 8th, Venus moves into Libra here, breaking up this T-squared, as I was saying before. Libra in the 12th house can bring you all manner of beautiful dreams. Sometimes it can be like an attachment to someone or feelings for someone, but they're not really available to you in some way. They could be holding off, they could be put a brick wall up, for example, and they're not letting you in. They're not fully available, or they're not availing themselves to you if you have that sort of feeling for someone. Just watch that. Venus there. It's more about dreams. It's more about what's going on in spirit with beauty and love and those sorts of things, even justice and fairness. However, it's not necessarily in the physical world. That's not yet. The time is not right, put it that way. The 10th sees Mercury going into Sagittarius here in your money area. It's also your possessions and your belief systems. And we will have the Sun and Mars, the Sun on the 22nd and Mars on the 24th, also coming, having a lovely little party about your money. Sagittarius is quite expansive, so you may be thinking up new ideas to make money or buy new possessions. This is also activating the full moon here on the 27th in Gemini, which is going to give joint resources or joint assets a bit of a shake-up. You could be looking at investments, inheritances, superannuation, taxation. It's things or money that you share with somebody else, whether that be a partner, an agency, or a corporation, or a government. But this is quite positive. Then we have the new moon in Scorpio on the 13th in your sign, bringing a new beginning around how you approach the world, what your perceptions are of the world, and the perceptions of other people looking at you as you approach the world. Maybe coming out of your shell in some way, paying more attention to your appearance and your identity. being more authentically you. So new starts, new beginnings, very positive. So that's about it, but it's absolutely fabulous. One more thing, Saturn turning direct on the 4th, to do with your creativity. Put some structure around it, put some scheduling in place to be creative, because Saturn really likes structure, diligence. So if you're a writer, set aside a time every day to write, for example, or paint or sing, do music, whatever. And Saturn will appreciate that. So you may have felt a bit in the doldrums with your creativity, or perhaps romance, or the world of the child. But this is about setting out a plan of action so you can get more done in these areas. So that's it, everyone. I hope this suits you and it works for you. These Scorpios, have a wonderful month. Don't forget, check out your moon and your rising sign as well. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now. Hello and welcome everybody. I've got Sagittarius November 23 horoscope here. First we're going to draw 2 cards as theme cards for the month for you. So let's go to the board now. That's your horoscope. So we're looking at the first half of the month, and what do I see? Oh, this has come up before. It's actually your glyph, your star sign glyph, and that is an arrow going into the air. So increasing in consciousness, and maybe certain areas of your life opening up. So that's a bit exciting. Let's see what card we get for you, savvy Sagittarius. The Justice card. This is fabulous. It's about natural law, L-O-R-E, rather than human law, L-A-W, but this will help you with human law as well. It's sort of got a bit of a karmic vibe to it. What goes around comes around. Once you listen to your intuition, this little owl on the shoulder here is very important. Then you can make a decision by cutting through to the core of the matter, and then you can take action. See all this red in the card. So it's pretty exciting. It's a Justice card, a major arcana, and it's likely to stand you in good stead for some time. It's not just about November necessarily. It can be longer than that. Let's have a look at the second half of the month for you, savvy Sagittarius. There's a big angel, a woman, here with huge wings that go all the way down to the ground. So that suggests an archangel. I know we don't hear about many female archangels, but I can see this very clearly. She's raising her wings up, about to take flight. She's on your side, so helping to raise you above whatever your current situation is. Let's have a look and see. There's lots of blues coming through. That was a sort of pink tones around that little vision there. Now there's lots of blue and white coming through. It's going to come into your thinking, and you'll probably be communicating about it in some way. The card that comes up is the Queen of Cups. It's all about your emotions, being practical on one hand, but being very much in touch with your divine feminine, your unconscious. You've got a lot happening here in October and into November in your 12th house, which is Scorpio. There's a lot happening, and new beginnings as well. So that's pretty exciting. So being in control of your emotions, looking at the big picture view, and looking to expand your life in some way. So now let's make this a bit bigger, like that. Alrighty, so first thing to note is that we have this kite formation, this kite aspect pattern, which is blessing all of the star signs this month. And it's a major grand trine and a minor grand trine here. And for you, it brings particular focus or attention to your 4th house of home and family, because Neptune is there, and Neptune is the focal point of these two patterns. And you'll see with this minor grand trine, there's Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus funneling their energies into Neptune. So a beautiful spiritual vibe in your home or with your family. The only thing is to be cautious of being too idealistic when dealing with family members, or perhaps people that visit your home, and looking at the world with rose-coloured glasses, because Neptune can do that. On the other hand, it can also leave you feeling like you're in a bit of a fog. You're walking through a mist, not sure in what direction you're going, but just keep going, okay? Saturn turns direct on the 4th of the month, bringing more structure around your home and family. It's important to get times right. If you invite people over, make sure that they've got the right time, because that's really important for appointments and scheduling. Saturn loves scheduling, so do more scheduling. Be diligent about things that you're supposed to be doing around the home. Don't put things off, and just get on and work around the house. Saturn loves that. And so this is pretty positive because there's a lot of trines and sextiles here. However, Neptune is opposing Venus in your 10th house of career, reputation, and even authority figures. So you might find, particularly with women, or because traditionally this house is ruled by the mother, so, but it can, these days it can be either parent. There might be an issue with parents that you have to deal with, and Venus opposite Neptune, just watch out for miscommunications, things not going as smoothly as you would like. Normally Venus is very sort of smooth and elegant, beautiful, polite, courteous, those sorts of things. Just be cautious there with any authority figures or in your career or public life. You may tend to overshare on social media, so just watch that as well. Now let's look at your horoscope in depth. On the 8th, Venus moves into Libra here, which is fabulous for your friendships, your connections, your groups. There's likely to be new people that you meet, beautiful people. They could be physically beautiful or beautiful in their temperament, and Venus will help you and attract new people, but really nice people, into your life. And so new relationships could start. It's also great for your hopes and dreams. And Venus there can bring a sense of romance to hopes and dreams as well. On the 10th, Mercury goes into Sagittarius here and is joined by the Sun on the 22nd and Mars on the 24th, bringing a lot of energy and a bit of a party around how you approach the world, your perception of the world, and how people perceive you in the world. And it's also to do with your identity and your appearance and your physical body. So you may have more physical energy and want to get out and about a bit more. There's some sort of happiness or insight and awareness around your identity, who you are, and being more authentic, and lots of communications and discussions perhaps about things like hair, makeup and clothes, how you appear, and how you deal with the world. I think it's quite positive, actually. We also have the new moon in Scorpio on the 13th here, bringing new beginnings around your meditation, spiritual life, and the house of the goddess, basically, I call it. It's very experiential and hard to describe, but it's things deep down in your subconscious, and your emotions are sometimes tied up in that. So new beginnings, and there's October and beginning of November, there's a lot of energy there that I already discussed earlier. On the 27th, the full moon is in Gemini over here, giving your partnerships and committed relationships a bit of a shake-up, and that's the shake-up they need to have, casting a light on your partnerships, also on any legalities that you may have or people that you don't get on with. There may be some events or activities in those areas. All right, but pretty positive month all up, dear Sagittarius, and a bit quieter certainly than what October's been. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I do hope this has been useful for you. Leave a like and a comment, that would be fabulous. And don't forget to check your moon and rising signs as well. Have a great month, everyone. I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now. Hello and welcome, Capricorns, courageous Capricorns. I've got your November 23 horoscope. A somewhat quieter month this month. However, your ruler Saturn is moving direct, so we will talk about that. Let's go to the board now. That's your horoscope. But firstly, let's choose two cards as theme cards for you Oh, I've got all sorts of weird things happening in my right leg that just started. And so there might be something happening lower right side of the buttock area and down into, from your hip down into your right leg. And I can feel this sort of throbbing, pulsating, hot energy, and it's sort of sparkly. And this is saying to me that something about moving forward with more logic, or maybe in a masculine way, is going to be freed up. That came on very strongly. It's subsiding now somewhat. But yeah, there's something about moving forward for you. Your legs carry you forward. So let's have a look. Wow. I got tears in my eyes, but not emotional tears, but because the energy was so strong. That was, yeah, something to do with the nerves, I think. Electrical sort of feeling around it. We do have Uranus here in your 5th house of creativity, so unpredictable and surprising events there to do with creativity or romance, or perhaps the world of the child, leisure and pleasure, those sorts of things. The card that comes out is, I'm going for that one, the Two of Swords. Some decisions to be made. Just be aware that you are very much influenced by your history, your experiences, what's happened in the past. And we all carry this baggage as well. It's not just you, dear Capricorn. Everybody has baggage from the past. So, yeah, these reflections of the past are coming up and could influence your decisions. That's fine as long as you're aware of it. And it is to do, again, with your thinking, because swords are about the mental realms. And these swords, they can cut through and get right to the crux or the core of the matter. Number 2, card number 2, the second half of the month. Oh, wow. Oh, as soon as I close my eyes, it starts. This energy is now radiating not only down my right leg, but into my right arm. And arms are about doing things, getting things accomplished. So something is definitely being freed up. You may experience it in your physical body, but it's more than that. Of course, it's coming from spirit. There are chains and chains of diamonds here, like necklets, but they're not necklets. They're like long chains of diamonds. So difficult things where you may have been under heat and pressure and the diamonds have been formed. Yeah, wow. Don't know what's going on here, but it's pretty major. Yeah, just get my breath. So we're doing card number 2, the second half of the month. It's to do with your money, getting organised with your finances, deciding who gets paid and who doesn't get paid and all that sort of thing. It's a normal sort of everyday thing. It's not a major arcana or anything like that. Just be aware, people may ask you for money, and it's appropriate that you pay your bills and all of that and get organised with finances. However, there might be somebody asking you for a loan. It's not a bad card. It's actually quite positive in that you're getting more organised with finances. Alrighty, so they're the cards. Bear those in mind. We'll make this bigger. Now, we come to your horoscope, courageous Capricorns. You'll see this lovely kite. Everybody is starting all star signs. When I say everyone, I mean all star signs are starting the month off with a kite, which is a major grand trine and a minor grand trine sitting on the top here. The focal point is Neptune. So for the last couple of months, we've had Uranus, Neptune and Pluto in this minor grand trine, or it's a type of talent triangle, bringing awareness to your skills and your talents and your creativity. And the focal point is Neptune in your house of communications or study, or even your local environment. So just be aware, this is huge because there is a lot of potential here and potential success. However, we do have Neptune opposite Venus here in your 9th house, about the higher mind. So as I was saying about making decisions, this is the higher mind in order to make decisions. So there could be some confusion with this because Neptune sometimes brings delusion and illusion, but also viewing the world through rose-coloured glasses. So it's not about being practical. So in your communications, make sure that all your T's are crossed and all your I's are dotted, and try to keep your feet on the ground with regard to communications or brilliant ideas or self-promotion, marketing if you're in business, or anything going on in your local environment with neighbours or the town council and things like that, shopping in your local area. Because Neptune, it's a very spiritual vibe, but it doesn't always bring clarity. The thing to note also is that Saturn is turning direct, and that's your ruler, and that's on the 4th of November. So structure is needed, more structure is needed in your communications. Get a schedule, get a routine going. When you get up in the morning, answer your emails at such and such time and spend X amount of time on your emails, and keeping your communications up to date and very clear and concise. You're good at, or generally good at, being quite concise and logical and setting things out step by step and that sort of thing. So Saturn really loves that. If you can be really organised and diligent and work on those things that need work, and try and set it to a timetable, diarise if you can. However, that's the only sort of quite difficult or possibly difficult thing that's going on. So just Neptune getting confused. Venus loves everything to be fair and may fall all over herself in trying to make things fair and just and lovely and beautiful. However, sometimes it gets mixed up. So yeah, just be aware of that. There's a lot of trines and sextiles here, so the potential, the upside of this is quite great. So yeah, don't focus on the negative, just be aware of it. On the 8th, Venus will move into the 10th house here, and this triangle will cease to exist, and this kite, will cease to exist. And moving into the 10th house brings a lovely, flowing, elegant, beautiful way of conducting career, or maybe anything to do with reputation or status or being on social media, that sort of thing. And it's just a beautiful, affectionate, warm, friendly vibe with Venus in the 10th house there. Relationships with authority figures may improve, and you may be able to get those relationships on to a level that is smoother than before if you've had any difficulties with authority figures, especially parents, and particularly the mother. Things could improve there. On the 10th, Mercury goes into Sagittarius here, and on the 22nd, the Sun into Sag, and on the 24th, Mars into Sag. All having a little party here in your 12th house of the subconscious, the divine feminine. And while Mercury and the Sun can do it there, Mars isn't very happy there, because Mars wants to get ahead and get stuff done, and to achieve usually in a physical, energetic, sort of bold manner. However, in the subconscious, things are hidden. They're down deep inside you. You've got to sort of go digging to find stuff out. So it could be a few runctions there, but with the Sun, there's likely also to be awareness and insight, and perhaps even some sort of sense of happiness or joy as well. And with Mercury there could be messages coming up. You're picking up the messages from spirit, which is great. You're understanding them, you're having insights. Mars could be frustrated because you have an insight, for example, that you want to act immediately upon, and it's just not ready yet. So plan everything out. Saturn will appreciate it if you can plan out what you want to do and have sort of like a schedule of tasks to perform and get organised that way. We also have on the 13th the new moon in your 11th house of friends and contacts and associates and groups, and so there could be some new beginnings here. You could be meeting new people, attending new groups. Hopes and dreams may even become clearer, or new hopes and dreams altogether. And over here in the 5th house, you do have Jupiter here in your house of socialising. So get out and about and have a great time. That could be really good for you. On the 27th, the full moon is in Gemini here in your everyday life. Might be a little bit of turbulence. Perhaps you need a bit more privacy than usual. Sometimes women may be affected by this, so if anything's going to happen, it'll probably happen with women. However, it's also your work, if you're doing paid work, or your health. So just around that time, the 27th, make sure that you don't take on any extra stress. Try to be quiet and have some privacy. Alrighty, so that's it Courageous Capricorns, thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget, check out your moon and rising sign as well. Have a wonderful, insightful month. I'm sure you will. And I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now. Hello and welcome, awesome Aquarius. I've got your November 23 horoscopes ready, but first we're going to draw 2 tarot cards as theme cards for the month for you. So let's go to the board now. There's your horoscope, but firstly the cards. So 2 cards for the first and second half of the month. The door is closing to a situation in the first half of the month, and you've got your hand on the knob, the doorknob. And so this says to me that you're the one in control. You're finishing up with somebody or something. An old situation is coming to an end. There doesn't seem to be trauma or drama around it. It's just you taking control. I want to say it's you taking back control of a situation. There's a lot of pretty colours in with this as well. So there could be some sense of relief or maybe even contentment around the situation. I also see something to do with like reefs, like for example the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, and it's got lots of beautiful colours and beautiful fish and water, and this is about your emotions, free-flowing emotions in a beautiful way. The card that comes out is the Ace of Cups. Free-flowing emotions in a beautiful way. And so Spirit is literally handing you this situation as a gift. The end of something, bringing wonderment and beauty into your life. All right, a new cycle about to begin. That's the first half of the month. The second half of the month, what do I see for awesome Aquarius? Still going on from the theme of beautiful flowing emotions. It's a little bit different. This time there's some challenges, but they're only sort of play challenges. They're not serious or anything like that, and they're for fun. Could be socialising with other people where you play some games or something like that. Apricots, yellows, very summery type of feel, especially if you're in the southern hemisphere. And if you're in the northern hemisphere, it's more fall or autumn, of course, and that's what it is. But they're the colours I'm seeing. But also there's happiness, there's a feeling of stability, security and solidity around those colours. So consolidation of where you're already at, getting yourself ready for winter if you're in the northern hemisphere and summer in the southern hemisphere. So put those umbrellas away, the time for tears has passed. The card that comes up is the Lover's card. This is a little bit contradictory. It is a major arcana, so it's fairly important. It's contradictory in that it's push me, pull you, but overall the energy is being integrated within you, which means that you have more power. You're the one that is in control, as I said right at the start, of a situation which you can finish if you wish to. It doesn't mean that a relationship is finishing necessarily. It means it's related to a specific thing or aspect in that relationship. So a bit push me, pull you, but in that process of going back and forward like a pendulum swinging, transformation is happening. See the big snake down the bottom here? And you're feeling more powerful. The angels are watching out over both of you, and there's some sort of passion, and by passion it doesn't just mean sexual passion, although that's what people think initially, but sometimes it can be more the passion of creativity, the excitement of getting on with something that you really want to do. It's a wonderful card, and something that popped out just a moment ago when I was looking at this was I was looking at your co-ruler. I haven't pinned in the directions. I knew it was something else. Your co-ruler starts to move forward on the 4th of November. And I was thinking about that. It's in your second house of finances and possessions and values, what you believe. So it may have been some sort of restriction around finances or not wanting to spend money. And it's like you've been held back. The issue is to get some sort of structure in place, particularly because we have this wonderful kite here at the beginning of the month, along with a T-square right at the start of the month. So the moon will only be here literally for hours, at 29, degrees 20 minutes. So really this would have probably, this T-square challenge probably occurred the day before, the 1st of November, which would be the 31st of October. So around that time, just be a little bit cautious that there's no misunderstandings about money, especially with Librans or Taurians, and especially concerning joint resources, things that you share with another person, or that in intimacy with another person, or perhaps even a government agency such as the tax office or Services Australia. I think they call themselves Centrelink, whatever they change their name all the time. I don't know how many name changes I've seen, but yeah, Services, yeah, interesting name. And there could be some misunderstanding, confusion, discombobulation there for a day or two. But with this wonderful kite pattern here, Saturn moving direct and approaching Neptune. Now, Neptune about your money, and Neptune in Pisces about your money especially, is not the best sort of placement for Neptune. Be cautious that you don't misunderstand a situation about money and end up getting caught, because Neptune tends to be more spiritual, more idealistic, and not really thinking about practicalities. You could end up paying more for something than you thought, for example. However, and it is opposite Neptune here, so again, yes, it could be about joint resources or shared assets, investments, inheritances, tax, that sort of thing. However, there are a lot of wonderful aspects here, sextiles and trines in this grand trine here and this minor grand trine here making up the kite. And they're all funneling their energy into Neptune here, so bringing a lot of spiritual awareness to you. And you could change your belief systems. Maybe money is less important. It becomes less important. You just want to have what you want. So take note of that. The other thing that jumped out at me for no particular reason was that your other co-ruler, Uranus, here in your 4th house, suggests something going on around your home or family where it's increasing. So there could be a pregnancy in your family, or friends become like family, or you do a lot of work around your home so that the value increases because you've got Jupiter here. In a few months, Jupiter will be conjunct Uranus, and it's likely the value of your home will go up, or you'll spend money on your home. There's something very surprising and unusual that just sort of happens. Maybe you'll have a lot of energy for doing renovations or doing things that you wouldn't normally do around your house. But I think it's wonderful. It feels really good. It feels really good to me because my husband's an Aquarius. I can't wait for him to start doing more things around the house. But yeah, it feels really good. This kite is really wonderful for potential success. It doesn't guarantee success because you've got this opposition happening here and also the T-square at the beginning of the month. But it is about potential success. If you follow through, you're really going to be happy with what happens, I think. So let's get on with your astrology, because I digress there, going off on all sorts of tangents. So on the 8th, Venus goes into Libra here, which is wonderful for anything to do with money and joint assets that you share with somebody else. Venus loves to spend money, so you could make some investments here. Venus encourages you to invest because she looks after money. She likes beautiful things though, so it might be that you're investing in your home and you're beautifying your home somewhat or in some way. Yes, bring it on, I say. Then we have on the 10th, Mercury going into your house of friends here, which is Sagittarius, and there's bound to be a lot of communications and brilliant ideas. We have the Sun going in here, and we also have Mars. The Sun is on the 22nd and Mars is on the 24th. There's a party going on in your house of connections and associates and groups. You may even want to entertain at home, and that might be why you're getting something done around your house, perhaps. I'm just sort of allowing free association to happen here. It doesn't necessarily mean that that will happen, but there's a lot of happiness and insight. Socializing will be wonderful for you. You could meet new friends, or your hopes and dreams are fulfilled in some way, and there's a lot of discussion and energy about it. Also, on the 13th, the new moon goes into Scorpio here, bringing a new beginning around your career, or perhaps with an authority figure like a parent, particularly your mother. A new moon is always a great time to start new things. Anything to do with social media or your reputation or career will be blessed in some way. And finally, on the 27th, the full moon is in Gemini here, and this brings a bit of turbulence around romance, a need for privacy, particularly spending time with women, just you and women, or having time on your own, because there could be some turbulence. And do watch for two-faced friends, or somebody that could be two-faced in some way. But there's bound to be a lot of discussions too, because it's in Gemini, and so there could be a lot of communications around this. Alrighty, that's it, awesome Aquarius. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope this is useful for you. Don't forget to watch your moon and rising signs as well. And most importantly, have a wonderful month. Thanks, and bye for now. Hello and welcome, passionate Pisces. I've got your November 23 horoscopes. First, I'm going to draw 2 tarot cards as theme cards for the month for you. So let's go to the board now. There we go. We'll draw these cards first. And what do I see to start the month off for you? The first half of the month, I've got a steam train here, and it's about work, and I think I can. Thomas the Tank Engine going up a hill. So there could be a bit of a struggle or a bit of a burden going on. It's important to persist, not to give up prematurely. Just you'll get there, but yeah, it's a bit of an effort. That's really what it comes down to. The card that comes out, I'm going to go for that one there. It's the Hermit. Make sure you have plenty of time alone if you can, because that will recharge your batteries, rejuvenate you in some way. Just watch, of course, for anybody who tries to interfere with your personal space or your personal time too much. It's a challenge, I know. See, standing here on a mountaintop, mountains are about challenges, but we do have a wolf dog, and that suggests that you're going to learn a lot, and whatever you learn you can use later to help other people, to teach other people if that's what you want to do. You are the light. The light of your awareness shines, and what you're doing is you're bringing this light to a lot of things that are deep down in your subconscious, and they're coming out and you're processing them. It's a major arcana card, so it's fairly important. It's probably longer than November. It could go on for some time. We just had the eclipses on the 15th and the 29th, the solar eclipse in the 15th of October, and the lunar eclipse on the 29th. So the effects of those will last for some months, and that's why you need time out alone to process everything. All right, the second half of the month for you, passionate Pisces, closing a door to the past. It's pretty clear. It's you doing the closing, so you're the one in control. There's light on the other side, a lot of insight and awareness. Actually, I get you locking the door. It's like you're over this, you're done and dusted with it. Then I'm out in space, and it's quite beautiful, and there's lots of brilliant colours and light coming in. So it's like a contrast between the darkness and the light. The light is lighter than light, and a lot of insight with it, and the darkness is pitch black, as black as Toby, as an old Irish lady used to say to me. I don't know who Toby is. I think Toby was a black dog. Maybe she had a black dog at one point, and I'm going back decades now. If anybody knows who Toby is, let me know in the comments, please. As black as Toby. The card that comes out is the Nine of Wands, very appropriate. It's a burden. It's like you've coming to the end of the cycle, almost there. You could be feeling quite tired. Just keep persisting, keeping on. You will get there. Lots of action. You might have been quite enthusiastic or excited about a project or about doing something, but now it's coming to an end, and you're almost over it. Red legs, that means move forward in life, take some action steps. All right, there we go. Bear those two cards in mind while I talk about your horoscope. There she is. Now, the first thing to note is this kite here, this major grand trine and minor grand trine. A lot of positive energy here. It's really quite exciting. It's all about potential success. The issue is it's potential because it's up to you if you keep going. If you just give up and say, oh, well, that's it, I'm not doing any more, then you might miss out on some of the success that you're due to. The problem comes, or the challenge comes here, Neptune opposite Venus, opposing Venus, and it could be to do with significant partnerships, husband, wife, business partners even, and or legalities, or maybe even people that you don't get on with about each other. They're, in the old days, they're called open enemies. I wouldn't even call them enemies. They're just people you don't click with and they don't click with you. And so Neptune here in your sign is really showcasing your spiritual life, your spiritual beliefs. However, these other people, or perhaps your partner or your business partner, it's sort of like us versus them, and so that could be a bit difficult. Your job, because Neptune's here, all of the energy is going into your sign. Your job is to look after your own interests. If anybody tells you you're selfish, don't believe it. It's about you having an appropriate boundary and having appropriate self-respect. Because we've got 1 and 7, sometimes they're both these houses are going to be activated, and there could be some sort of talk of compromise, but you want to be careful that you don't compromise your core beliefs, is what it boils down to. The planet Neptune is also part of this T-square at the beginning of the month. It probably goes for a couple of days only, like say end of October to beginning of November, for 2 or 3 days. It's not very long. Neptune is here, the moon on the 1st of November, and also Venus here in your 7th house again. So could be bringing up issues around creativity, relationships, friendships, even romance. So again, I would say it's really important for you to have sufficient time out to process everything that you come across. And now I'll talk about your horoscope in a bit of more depth. On the 8th, Venus is going into Libra here. This is wonderful for any intimate relationships you might have, and your sex life could improve. It's sort of mixed as far as investments and joint resources is concerned, because Venus likes to spend money, especially on beautiful things. But you do have to be careful that you don't overspend and that you do all of the appropriate research and planning in any new investments, particularly to do with housing or money generally. On the 10th, Mercury goes into Sagittarius up here. On the 22nd, the Sun's going into Sag, and on the 24th, Mars is going into Sag, all joining your MC. So at some point they'll all be conjunct, I'll get it right, conjunct your MC. It's about your direction in life. But there's likely to be a lot of communications, a lot of insight, awareness, and also a lot of energy and boldness about what you want to do. You could be coming to a turning point in your life, which is again why you need probably to have some time out to think about everything and reflect on everything that's going on, because you may want to change direction in your life. Maybe it's just tweaking. It doesn't mean that it's anything terribly humongous or terribly painful or anything. It doesn't mean that. It could just be a minor tweak, and it brings you happiness. So it's quite the opposite probably to any trauma and drama. It's likely to bring contentment, insight, awareness and happiness with the Sun there. On the 13th, the new moon is in Scorpio here, bringing new beginnings around study, around expanding your mental horizons and how you think about life. Life is much bigger than what you previously thought, and you could make your life bigger and take advantage and opportunity of that. And again, the Sun and Mars don't move until the 22nd of the month. I mean, when I say don't move, that's not right. They are moving, but they're not out of that house until the 22nd and the 24th of the month. So you've got really from the 13th to the 22nd, that week there, to really make the most of any insights that you have, any extra energy, because you'll probably have extra vitality around this. And you might think about study, you might think about travel or spirituality, and look at how you can grow your life. On the 27th, the full moon is in Gemini down here in your home and family zone, and this probably brings some sort of need for privacy. And it's your house could be like a peaceful sanctuary, and that's what you need. So if you do entertain at home, it's probably only those people that are most close to you. But yes, that's your horoscope, passionate Pisces. So I do feel like, looking at all of this, that there are some tweaks in direction. You could go on a trip or perhaps expand your spiritual life in some way, but it's looking pretty positive. So that's it. Thanks so much for listening. I hope this is useful for you. Leave a like and a comment. That's fabulous. And don't forget to check out your moon and your rising sign. Have a great month, passionate Pisces. I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.